Father Figure Season 3, my beautiful friend with the longest beard and the most beautiful shiny head is in the house. Heath McSolvin, what's up?
Oh, I thought for a second you were going to say hair, and I'm like, woo, you can see the side bits of my Homer Simpson hair. But no, you're
Show
talking about
it,
my head.
grow it,
It's hair.
long as God can grow it, my hair. I never did see that play because Mum and Dad wouldn't let me because there's too
Oh,
many,
hair. Yeah, isn't there like
too many people without clothes on.
yeah, I
Which
was
I
going to
think is,
say,
by the way, if you want to know fatherly advice, that's a good piece of advice. Too many people without
yeah,
clothes on, not a good day.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think the other day I heard I think it was on Lucy and Carol's Brekkie show, they were
Hmm.
talking about things that you'd done and gone on school exertion. Or maybe it was, I can't remember. Anyway,
Well, you're old
it's,
enough to forget, and then you can just insert any
it's true.
names. You actually, you're in Vegas. George
Yeah,
Clooney was there, and you heard a
that's
story.
true. And I
Good.
was listening to the ABC.
ABC said to me.
And it was a grade five excursion, and they went to see Hair, the musical.
No, they didn't.
They did, yeah. Clearly, whoever organised the excursion
All right.
was not sure about what.
Look,
Anyway,
I'm just kind of excited that the school can pay for the therapy down the track.
yeah,
That'll be good.
mate,
Hey,
it's good to
man,
be back. Good to be back for season three.
season 3, we're in the house now. This season, we've got a whole bunch of pretty interesting people to speak to.
Mm.
Uh, but you are the most interesting by far.
Oh, stop it! Keep going.
I've
Stop
no.
it! Keep going. A little bit more. A bit more.
I've often said this, and again, we're on father figures, so let's talk to all the middle-aged men that are in the grind right now. You guys need to encourage each other because that's what's happening. That's all you got. I picked up the phone to a mate of mine today. He rang me, and I picked up the phone with "G'day, beautiful," and he was like, he went, you know what? That's the first time I've heard that in a long time. I'll take it.
Hey man, we got to take whatever we can get at this age.
That'll do. That'll do.
Yeah,
So, what
yeah.
age are you now? Where are you up to?
It's hard to know.
Yeah, I think check your ID.
Yeah.
Or check with your GP. One of the two.
We're getting older. The world is changing around us. There's lots of things going on. Our world is different from 12 months ago for all of us.
Yeah. And the question is always, is it different or is it just more of the same? And you try and find a spot in history and you think, we've just got to live in our version of now. But it does feel like the heat has been turned up.
Yeah, well, it certainly has at a global view, but gosh, let's not go down that path because that's a little scary.
Well, let's just tap into some of the changes in your life in the last 12 months because the job change was a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I went from working at the Light at Positive Media and I'm now across at World Vision.
Yeah.
And I'm sure many people listening would know World Vision. And I grew up with World Vision. My dad started working at World Vision in 1985.
The change brought on, it was good for you in lots of ways. But obviously some of the challenges that came to your parenting, this job has a little bit more travel involved. I assume with any new job, you probably had to go on a retreat or two and do a trust fall. Yeah.
Oh, man, I went on the craziest training course just recently. It's called Heat training, Heat. Heat.
Okay.
It's quite well known for those who work in the
Nightclub
sector,
industry?
yes.
No, right. No. Okay, right. It wasn't Heat nightclub. Okay, good.
No, oh gosh, remember that. So it was training for how to survive in hostile countries. So it's hostile
Wow.
country training, and
Wow.
it's a mix of classroom and practical. And let me just say, the pinnacle of the course, and I'm hopefully nobody who's listening to this is ever going to go to one because I don't want to spoil anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
But the pinnacle is toward the end of the 6-day course. 6-day, you go away. We were literally staying in school cabins that had bunk beds and a sleeping bag, and we shared a toilet, and there was 8 men in a room, and there was 40 of us on this course. And anyway, the pinnacle is, I think it was about 4:30 in the morning on the final day. So they reenact everything like you're in a hostile country.
Yeah.
Guys come in with machine guns. They set bombs off outside
Whoa.
your door. They fire guns. They do all this stuff, and they take you hostage at 4:30 in the morning. They drag you out of bed. They put handcuffs on you, so cuff your wrists with cable ties, they put hoods over your head and
Mm.
they take you hostage. And we were, I reckon, I don't know, because you don't have a watch or anything on you, can't quite tell time. But I think we probably were tied up and hoods over our head for maybe 4 or 5 hours. Um,
All I'm hearing right now is why you kept ignoring my messages. Mm. You couldn't text back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This
Like it
is
was an
wow.
amazing course.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the best training course I've ever done.
Look at that.
But that was the pinnacle of it. In the lead up to, they call it crawl to walk to run.
Yeah.
And so by the time you get to that, you've kind of already done the little session where you had a hood on your head for, like 30 minutes and practice. They had already tied your hands together. They'd already taught you how to escape out of cable tie when your hands get cable tied together. Like
Mm.
you can escape out of it. Like it's quite possible.
Okay. I mean, I know this is an audio podcast, but I think at some point we should reenact that and you should show us that magic trick.
Well, the first thing is about how you present your hands to someone when they
Right.
want to cable tie your hands together. So if you can imagine your two fists not together with their palms facing, but with your thumbs together
Yeah.
like that, and
So
you
that
present your
creates,
hands like that, creates a bigger gap.
yeah.
So when they put your cable ties on, you bring your elbows in a little bit, and then what happens is you can then straighten your hands out, straighten you like that, and you can
And
slide a hand out. And they said most people who are tying you up just as nervous as you are because they've taken you hostage. They've done something crazy. They're doing something crazy.
Mm.
They're not professional hostage takers. They're
Yeah, this is not a
opportunistic.
job
This is
description.
not something they've done a training course on.
Mm.
So they teach you, and then there's a couple other ways you can bust out the cable ties. Anyway, that was so you're right. I have certainly been. It's a little different to go and do a course like that and they're all trained. So the trainers that World Vision use, there's a course that Heat is run by lots of different agencies. World Vision actually run this course themselves. We're the only not-for-profit or INGO, they call it international not-for-profit group, that we have our own trainers. They're
Mm.
all ex SAS, Special Forces, Army guys from all over the world, South Africa, England, America. These guys have done they've been on Afghanistan tours. These guys are hardcore guys.
Mm.
But every morning, one of them would run a devotion. And
Wow.
so every morning they'd stand up, and one of the guys got, tattoos everywhere. He was going to the gym down the road at like 3 o'clock every morning because he had to do his workout. Like these guys are buff and strong. And then he'd stand there and start crying, telling you some kind of, a story of how Jesus has impacted his life. It was just phenomenal watching these, hardcore guys sort of pour out their hearts. Was quite phenomenal.
I
Yeah.
think the thick skin, soft heart conversation comes up a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
because again, the world will try and make you thick skinned and hard of heart.
Yeah.
And the word of God keeps saying, I'll melt the ice, give you a heart of flesh in the place of a heart of stone, and all those kind of pictures that are throughout Scripture.
Yeah.
And I love the power of the word of God
Yeah.
to melt a heart. And I do love that our image of a tough guy or a tough girl
Mm.
kind of feels counterintuitive, or the opposite of what a gentle spirited person would be.
Yeah, yeah,
But I think that's a beautiful image you've just presented of the
yeah,
gentle spirit. His skill is in
yeah.
strength
Yep,
and leadership and everything,
yep,
and all of
yep,
those survival skills
yep,
that are needed.
yep.
And yet you can have that as a skill, even as someone that's had to engage in war, which
Yeah.
again I've never
And
had to hold a
no,
gun.
that's right. And this mental toughness that they have, you talk about toughness,
Mm,
I said to them at one point, I was talking to them and said, what's the training that you guys did as soldiers to compared to what we do? They
yeah,
go, oh, no, in our training, they still capture you, take you hostage, but they strip you down naked and they use electric shocks while
yeah,
they're interrogating you. And I'm
yeah.
like,
There's a few more waivers for that one.
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
probably pretty glad you dialed that back for us.
Yeah, I'm happy to watch a James Bond for that one.
Can I
Uh,
tell you one quick story though?
you
So in the
certainly can.
interrogation, they pull the hood off. So you had the hood on for ages, and you're sitting in this room, pull the hood off, and there's a guy sitting opposite you. Again, this is all scenario, so it's not
Mm.
real.
Yeah.
But they do have real weapons. So they have real weapons that are loaded. So they had shotguns, they had machine guns, everything that was real, but
Mm.
everything had blanks in it.
Blanks in it. Yeah.
Okay, so keep that in mind. Yeah, they take the hood off, and there's a guy sitting across a table, one of these, inverted commas, actor terrorists,
Mm.
that's pointing a handgun right at your face when the hood
Oh.
comes off. And so
Yeah.
you look up, and
Mm.
that's the first thing you see.
Mm.
And then he goes, but he had, the guy that I had, he had this little smirk on his face. And
Right.
I kind of went, well, I reckon I can play with this guy a little bit and see where this goes.
Okay.
And so he puts the gun down, starts talking. And anyway, he says, so today we're going to decide. He goes, I'm not going to decide if you live or die. And he pulls the gun up and he goes, we're going to let the Russians decide.
Oh, yeah.
And he opens the revolver and he puts one bullet in and he
Yeah.
spins it. And then he holds it to me and he clicks it. And of course, it doesn't fire.
Yeah.
And I went, thank you, sir. And he said, don't thank me. And I said, thank you, Russia. And I had that night at dinner, I sat
Yeah.
next to him at dinner because he was
Yeah.
at the dinner.
Yeah.
And he
Sure.
said, yeah. And he said to me, oh, I couldn't believe it. He goes, because they'd done that scenario. There's 40 of us. He'd done it 39 other times. I was the
Yeah.
whatever person. And he goes, I just about lost it when you said that. He said, I almost broke character. And I said, yeah, I thought I could nearly get you. I thought there was enough of something in you. So anyway, we had a lot of fun with it.
And if you're wondering about the personality and character of Heath McSolvin, that's it.
Oh,
I'm
there's a
about to
joke
die.
everywhere. Come
I'm
on,
about
there's
to
a
die.
joke.
Where's the punchline?
So what about change for you, man? What's going on in your world? What's sort of different from, this time last year or this time at the start of the year or this time since our last season? What's
Yeah,
sort of going on for you?
that's 17 episodes right there.
Yeah.
Graduated my master's.
Yeah.
So that was good.
You had a hat and a cape, did you?
Had the hat, had the cape.
Wow.
Wasn't allowed to run around the courtyard pretending to fly. Was a little sad about that, but they did get us to do the throwing of the cap, and let's just be, we're being open and honest here. The real reason that I did the grad was because there's a 17, 18-year-old boy in me that goes, your mum's still sad that you didn't do a grad back in the day.
Yeah.
Because I think at my high school, public high school in Leongatha, I think we might have done an evening or something and, done a rock song or something in the school hall, and that might have been the grad. I don't remember doing it there. My undergrad, I didn't do a graduation. My postgrad, my first postgrad thing, I didn't do a graduation. And so when this came through,
you chose not to go.
That's right. That's right. Because
yeah.
I'm thinking I'm being a practical bloke going, why would I, spend money on hiring gowns and caps and flights to places and accommodation and just send me the certificate in the mail. That's fine. I've got the certificate.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm here to testify, and I already know this, and I should have known this. Ceremony is helpful. Yeah. It's a funny thing, isn't it?
Yeah, there's something about it, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got a nice full stop to it. It's got a nice, we did a thing. There's other people around here that did a similar thing, and they understand what you went through. And in my case, everybody was adult learners, people that had already had one career and kids and all the stuff.
Yep.
So,
all the men were bald that were there.
Yeah. I grew my hair back just for the occasion. So it was an interesting, fascinating thing in that understanding ceremony, understanding markers in time, and making a memory, making a moment that people that our whole family could remember. And also recognizing that I'd been doing this for a lot of years, and wanting, I tried to give up multiple times, and Jody wouldn't let me, and there were people around going, "Don't give it, come on."
Yeah, push through, man. You can do it.
Yeah, and the phrase "P's get degrees" was very helpful.
Oh yeah, totally.
Through that. But it did remind me of, it was like a little flashback of a timeline of the twins were born when and then I started this.
Yeah, right. Wow.
And so they're 8.5 now. And
Yeah.
I think there might have been 1 or 2 when I started.
Yep.
Because I've run churches and I've
Mm,
run all the stuff I run, and we've got 5 kids at home, and all the stuff that goes with that. And then I went through a mental health challenge
mm.
probably 5 6 years ago. Oh well, I don't know whenever, I don't know where that finished, but it's getting better is the point. I mean the sort of the crisis part of it. So
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
there's it was interesting to stand there just in the silence of some stranger guy handing me a degree. I don't know him.
Mm,
He's just the guy that hands you the degree. But it was interesting to sort of go, oh wow, yeah,
mm.
we did a thing. That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, like you say, there's something about ceremony. There's something about marking the end of something that's been significant.
Mm,
As much as you get to the end of those things, you just kind of want to go, man, that's done.
mm.
Post me the certificate. I'm happy. I'm just, I don't want to think about it anymore. There is something special about that. So,
I think you and I have talked about things like birthdays for our kids, or those significant ages, or those significant, their first job, or their
yeah, yeah,
first their first girlfriend, or their first whatever.
yeah.
The other day, one of the kids came home and they'd played, whatever it was, hot cross buns on the trumpet, and but it was the first time they'd played hot cross buns on the trumpet, and
Yep,
it was just this grin, ear to ear grin, and I was like, man, that's a moment. He
yep,
stood up in front of the school with the junior band, whatever it was, and they
yep,
played the 3 notes
yep.
they played, but that was his first gig, you know. And it's definitely something to remember. So that's probably been there's not something I've achieved this year, but that has been
Mm.
the full
Yeah,
stop
there's the
on that.
combination of it this year. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really significant, and the church, Manifold Heights Baptist Church, if you're ever in
Ah,
Geelong,
no.
Mano Chapel is what it's called. I just called the chapel Mano
Menno
Chapel,
Chapel. Nice.
so
Look
you
at
can
you
look up.
being all cool. You're so cool and hip. I've always said that
Yeah,
about you.
I'm not a big fan of really hip church names. I don't want to necessarily debate that, but Mano is how the area is known,
Yep.
and it's known for the chapel, because the chapel there is a little bit of architectural joy. Um, so to me, that's the most significant thing that that the place is known, that the church has
Mm.
been known for. It's a church that had gone down to sort of the last 20, 30 people, and the buildings were very derelict in many spaces, and the members were old and aging quickly,
Yep.
health and otherwise. And it was a little nudge that I got in 2024, around May of 24, April, May of 24, where someone said to me, "You won't be interested in it, but there's this thing, there's this thing." And that's the other thing that I've taken. I've remembered that conversation because it was the assumption that was made that this wouldn't be something that suited me. But I'm so glad somebody threw it into the conversation.
It's like the reverse psychology, isn't it? Yeah. It's like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
with your kids. You won't like this, but here it
yeah.
is. Do you want to try this thing?
Well, I think again the middle age grind is you're trying to remember. Sometimes you're trying to remember what you're good at,
Hmm.
because whatever you are good at, you're just good at that now, and people just expect you to be good at it. No one's saying hooray.
Yeah.
You're just supposed to be good at it.
Yeah.
I think what was interesting about that process was the change was actually remembering what I loved about church life, which
Hmm.
I've always loved church planting. I've always liked starting something. I've always liked trying to till the soil and seeing if we can make a community of people come together around a big idea. And so this is like a church replant. There's a physical building that exists, but that's about it. And so it's been really beautiful. And so, I've got like 150% growth, 200% growth,
There were
which
five
is,
people when you started, so
yeah, exactly, exactly.
when you guys joined, you had 100% growth.
But yeah, I just did the first funeral the other day,
Yeah, wow.
and the lady, I'd literally just gotten to know her, and I'd sat with her. Um, she had decided to stop cancer treatments because it was just that thing of
Hmm.
there's nothing more to gain, and she was very aware of this was going to be her her last hurrah, her last journey.
Mm, mm.
And I got to know her because her family threw her essentially a party, which was almost like a goodbye party at one of the properties that one of the children owned. And I walked into this space, and Barb was there, and I Barb was just a lady of very short stature, wispy white hair, very softly spoken, except when it came to football and barracking for the cats. That was where
Right. Okay.
became a
Yeah.
different person altogether. But I would look up from, I'd be preaching and I'd look up and I'd see this wisp of white hair and think, oh, that's lovely, Barb's here. And we'd say hello. This day I went out, she'd chosen to stop the treatments. And I went out to her daughter's home. And her daughter and her son are about 60. Her son-in-law are about 60, and their kids are raised and whatever. But they've got a garden that they've beautiful property, and they've it's one of those properties that probably does represent the family growth over the years. And in those rooms, I just met all of the people that had been part of Barb's life, from her volunteering at Little Aths for. She got a pin. She got the 50 years of service to Little
Oh,
Aths.
wow.
The
Wow.
back straight of Corio Club is named after her.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Right.
And so there was these people, and they wanted to tell me about the high jump record that they'd made while Barb was the judge on the side or whatever. And
Yeah.
they wanted to tell me about the funny thing that they do to Nana when Nana's, I'm watching these kids.
Yeah.
There's a couple of kids with special needs that were just dancing around her, and she's just sitting there quietly, and she's just absorbing it all. And it was, again, one of those beautiful moments that the change through, her husband left her when she was in her late 30s, and left her with five kids, one that was a 1 year old, had five
Wow.
kids, paid off a house on a pension, raised five kids. There were other kids from the community that would live with them for quite long periods of time because that
Wow.
was her heart. And these were all the stories I'm hearing about this lady that was just a lady that sat in her spot, 7 rows back on the right hand side when I looked up from my sermon notes, and it led me to really think about the spot we all try to find. The
Yeah.
Barb was the person that tried to sit in the back. She didn't want to be noticed.
Yep.
And she actually lived her life, and this was her daughter's reflection. She lived her life believing that she didn't deserve to be noticed.
Wow.
And that day I was there with, I don't even know how many people, probably 150 people. I don't know, people
Oh,
coming and
wow.
going,
Wow.
coming and going. And they all said the same thing, which was, you know, this gentle, softly spoken lady that was super passionate about the Geelong Cats and her family and her
Yep.
church. That
Yep.
was it. Just three, very big. That was the headline. Uh, and she'd only been coming to my little church for 6 or 7 years, I believe. And the reason she came is because her other little church had shut down, and
Mm.
ours was on her bus route.
Yeah.
Stops at the bus stops out the front of Mano Chapel. And she came in and she found her spot. And dude, that's my passion. So when it comes to reminding myself of what I love about church life, it's trying to
Yeah.
help people find a spot.
Yep.
Because I think the gospel is an incredibly simple and beautiful thing to preach, and it should be living water and bread that nourishes hunger. That's what it should be, and it gets complicated in all sorts of ways.
Mm.
So it was a reminder of the purity of what the gospel can do and what a church can do for people. It just helps them find their spot. And she just sat quietly in her spot every Sunday. And I think it was just a solid reminder of the change that's happened for me from, for 20 years, I was in large sort of urban settings, I guess, with
Mm. Mm.
multi-site churches and lots
Yep.
and lots of admin and lots of organization and lots. And I was good at that for a time, and I had the energy for that for a time. And then as our family grew, my skill
Mm.
didn't diminish, my capacity to deliver my
Yeah.
skill
Yeah.
diminished.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in fact, my skill potentially was still growing, but my skill to deliver it wasn't, because now my eyes had been turned to these beautiful children I had to raise and
Yeah.
protect and lead. And so God's been good, man. And the change, when the guy said to me, "You won't be interested," I said, "Yeah, I think I might
Yeah.
be."
Yeah.
And so the change has been, we're in a space now where my kids are just loving the simplicity in a sense. They really like the big church stuff too. But Ari plays drums with me every Sunday. He's 12. Hope sings. She's
Yeah.
8. Luca and Noah sing with me, and Quinn wants to play electric guitar. He knows how to play an A chord, so I just make sure the songs are in A or E for all the musos out there, and then he can just bash an A chord, and I
There you
just
go.
make sure it's
Yeah.
it's not in the mix. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
we
Not in
just,
the mix.
yeah, tone it down a bit.
But
Yeah.
uh, but he just loves it. So, you know, the change has been very much a change in my job and my style of work and everything like that.
Yeah.
But the change has been birthed out of a place that I already understood. I just had to tap back into it from when I was a
Yeah.
kid. Yeah.
That's great. Wow. Yep. And it's funny because similar but different. Someone asked me the other day, how you going with the work-life balance? In a different
That
job.
question. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And it's a great question. And I hadn't really thought about it, but my answer was, oh, that it's kind of easy
Hmm.
because so, to backtrack a bit, so I'm a single dad, co-parenting, with the boy's mum. We get along really well. We split the kids down the middle. Not we don't split the kids down the middle. We split the time. Although at times, I tell you,
There's a Solomon lesson in that somewhere.
there's
Yeah,
something
yeah.
in there.
Hmm.
The time with the kids is split in the middle of the week. So I have them at the
Yeah.
front part of the week, not the back part of the week. And I was able to say to this person, oh, it's quite easy. The front half of the week, I don't get a choice as
Mm.
to whether or not I'm going to be a dad or not. I
Hmm.
have to be. I
Hmm.
don't get a choice. The kids demand it of me, and I just have to.
Right.
Second half of the week, work's got me. No
Mm.
problems at all. I can work late, I can get early, I can do all those things, I can do all the other bits. So actually work-life balance is fine. I don't find myself on Monday and Tuesday night coming home and, trying to get the kids to bed so I can sit down and punch out more work. I go, I'm home now. I'm here with the kids.
Mm.
This is me with the kids. Great, let's do that. Because I know that the latter part of the week will get the extra hours out of me.
Mm.
And I hadn't really realized that the kids just, it sounds terrible to say they demand that time off you, but they do that, and that's not their fault. That's what they need. They just demand that you are there and you are present and you can be a dad.
Yeah, and the purpose of presence, isn't it? I think for me the balance has been or the continued change in. I'm going to rephrase that because I think it's the change of balance every day of the week. So for you, it's there's a A and B to the week. For us, it's very much a react in the moment kind of conversation. And so Jody and I have to work super hard to like each other
Hmm.
all week. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I had a moment the other night, which is, again, this is a change in my life of being aware of my mental health a bit more.
Hmm.
I think I've shared with you before, I've shared with this audience before that I've been working with a psych a little bit in the last little while, and it's been a phenomenal help. One of the things I'm really aware of is what my nervous system is actually doing.
Yep.
And I'd had a long day and I'd had a frustrating afternoon and evening where the text messages and the emails kept coming back. Should have been simple answers from the people I was asking the questions of, wasn't simple answers. Questions were being replied with more questions, all those sorts of things. And anyone that's
Sorry about that, man. I didn't mean
yeah,
to. On
exactly.
you go. Yeah.
And all you were doing was saying, could you please help me get these cable ties off my wrist?
I've been captured. Can you
I've
come
been
rescue me?
captured. I'm like,
Where are
whoa,
you?
ghost face. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to
Uh,
disturb.
Yeah, and one of the kids came bounding down the stairs and just jumped on me, and I felt my body jerk. I felt it go.
Mm.
Oh, it was almost like a fight or flight kind of
Yeah, yeah,
response.
yeah,
And I'm thinking, kids are just being kids. You
yeah,
dill pickle, and I don't think I physically reacted. The kids didn't, nothing happened, but I felt it in
yeah,
me. And I looked at Jades and went, "Hey, I'm just going to go for a drive for half an hour." Everything was fine. We'd done the baths, we'd done the teeth. They were ready for bed. It was all good. I didn't leave her in the lurch,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but she just sort of nodded.
Yep.
And so I went
Right.
for a ride drive, and I called a friend.
Yep.
What was ironic was that the friend is actually going through a much, much tougher time.
Yeah. Right.
And it was this little moment where I went, this is stupid. Why would I ring someone who's in 1,000 times more stressful position than me right now? And I rang the guy and he said, "Man, thanks for calling. I really needed to chat."
And you're the one that had spoken for 28 of the 30 minutes. But
Yeah.
that's nice,
No,
isn't it?
but I drove and the conversation went for the better part of 2 hours, I reckon.
Wow.
Which again, he just needed to
Yeah.
share and I needed to
Yeah.
share. And I think I've worked a lot, especially in pastoral ministry. I've worked with people who have lost loved ones and crashed their lives and
Mm.
and have had horrendous things happen in their lives. And my job kind of is to sit with them in their grief.
Mm.
And early on, when I was doing that, I would say I can't really empathize, like, but I can be here for you. And then I tried to at times relate my grief to their grief. And over time, you realize that both of those things are kind of a bit foolish, because Scripture tells us to weep with those who weep and
Mm.
celebrate with those, bring joy with those who bring joy. Uh, and my friends who have gone through really, really tough stuff. One particular friend who he was married. I did his wedding for him, and 2 years later, his wife died of breast
Mm.
cancer. A young man too. And then 2 years after that, his mum died, and in between,
Wow.
a brother-in-law took his own life.
Wow.
So if you could sort of, I don't know, you could describe much more powerful
Mm.
reasons for being in periods of grief. And when we were talking, he would want me to share what's going wrong in my world. And I'd say, dude, I can't. Why would, like, my
Mhm.
grief is nothing compared to your grief. And he had this beautiful way of saying, Jazz, no, grief is just grief.
Yeah.
It's just grief. It's just whatever you expected the outcome to be, and it wasn't, that's the grief. The distance between what you expected and the outcome, that's grief. And so I've just learnt over times that, hey, if I need a friend to talk to, and it's probably true that talking to someone who's been through some stuff too is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone who's been through it and has walked through the valley of the shadow of death and has
Mm.
understood, fear no evil, your rod and your staff protect me, they comfort me, you lay me down in green pastures. You know, that I always say to people, you can read Psalm 23 as a 10-year-old, but it won't make sense to you. It won't. It'll
Yeah.
minister to you. It'll be great, but
Yeah.
it'll make sense to you when you've walked through some
Yeah.
valleys.
Yeah.
That's when it'll make sense. But that's why those sort of
Yeah.
bits of prose and poetry and prophecy are so beautiful. So yeah, I gave this mate a call and we chatted and one of those chats where you can go to the supermarket, pick up your chocolate milk and still keep chatting. One of those. And got home and I was a better man for it and I slept well that night.
Yep.
And
So
so
good.
so I think that the change for me is and this would be my encouragement to anyone listening that has experienced something like that. Your version of that is recognize that your body is trying to tell you something.
Yep.
Uh, and if you can, uh, allow your body to reset, to rest, to reset.
Mm. Mm.
And we can't always do that, but I would say that the conversations you and I have are
Mm.
good for my soul.
Mm.
We
Definitely.
we laugh and we joke, and then off air we tell each other the real stories. Maybe we'll have one of those podcasts one day where we go, okay, no, this is really what's happening. I don't know. But I have found over this last year, what has changed for me is I reckon I'm at a space now where I'm old enough to look back and take stock of what I've learned, what I've been good at, what I'm not good at, all those
Yeah.
sorts of things, and I'm getting a chance to apply them in real world situations, and I am free enough to as in my work life balance that you were
Mhm.
talking about, I'm free enough now to say I can't, I shouldn't do that thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it? There's so much power in the word no. We always know that,
Mm.
just to be able to say no. I found the real freedom in being okay with the things that I don't know, and being okay to tell other people that I don't know. I don't have to pretend to be the guy that knows the answer to everything.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, as a pastor, that I suspect that's a challenge because people come to you for all kinds of conversations, and for you to be able to go, I don't know, like that's a great question, or
Mm.
I don't know how to do that, or I've never done that.
Yeah.
There's something powerful in being able to acknowledge that.
I think, one of the ones that I shoot from the hip with is silver and gold have I none. Uh, what I will give you is what I think would, I'll give you the time if I can give you the time.
Yeah,
I'll give you the scripture if I can pull it out. But
yeah,
otherwise, I'm just going to say, take your time, go to Jesus with it.
yeah,
I'll be here. I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not
yeah,
leaving you in the lurch.
yeah,
But yes, a slow answer or a no answer
yeah.
is a wise thing. And again, I think we're old enough now to know we're not young enough to know everything anymore. Is the little turn of phrase.
I love that.
But I'm
That's
watching
good.
my boy. I'm watching my boys do it. I got a 19-year-old and an almost 17-year-old, and the
Yeah.
confidence with which they speak about certain
Oh,
topics is
oh,
remarkable.
oh, without a doubt. Without
Uh,
a doubt.
yeah,
Mind
it's
you, I had my son last night. He had a music concert, 17 years old,
yeah,
music concert at school. He's just started playing the drums in the last 12 months. Proudest
excellent.
punch dad moment, because
Yeah,
my goodness, for a kid who's only been playing drums for 12 months, he's
he's
like
got some chops.
they played a Metallica song,
Oh
right?
well, you're proud of him already. Yeah,
I'm already proud of him.
yeah, yeah.
And it's for
Double
those
kick.
who don't know me, double kick.
Yeah, yeah.
Lars
Come
and
on.
double kick was huge.
Yeah,
And he nails it. He nails it.
legend.
And he said to me before the concert, he goes, Dad, I've played the song so many times. He goes, I've played this song so many times now that I don't know that I like the song anymore.
Wow.
And he goes, and then he said to me, is that normal? Because he knows that I've been, and I go, oh yeah, man, you've hit the right spot now.
Yeah.
When you play a song so many times that you stop liking it,
Hmm.
that's the pinnacle of going, okay, I know this song well.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, that's good to know. And
Yeah.
it was kind of like I went, oh, he's experiencing something that he doesn't know the answer to, and he's experiencing
Yes.
something new.
Yeah.
And he wanted to verify it with me. And it's the real connection that he and I have got at the moment, is this idea of being a drummer and a muso and a muso.
Mm-mm.
And wanted to verify it and go, is that normal? Is that okay? And
What
it
to,
was,
to think of yourself as a muso and a drummer?
no, he doesn't. He hasn't got that delusion. Crikey's.
Well,
Uh,
sorry for all of those playing along at home. That's the muso joke.
oh, without a doubt.
Who's the guy that hangs around with the musos? That's the drummer.
It's the
Yeah.
drummer. Yeah.
What we're saying is lots has changed and absolutely nothing has changed.
Yeah, it's so true. Nothing ever really changes, does it?
Yeah.
It's all, there's a season for everything. And it
So
all
give
comes back.
me just as we chatting about change, the best part of change is what?
Oh, uh, what you tell me what the answer is. I don't know.
The chicken.
Multi-choice. Can you give me
The idiot.
3 options?
Is it A, the egg, or B, the chicken, or C? No, look, for me, the best part of change is the adventure, because we tend to lose whatever your version of adventure is. The surest way to lose the spirit of adventure is to lose the reason for adventure. For me, in my world, I talk about mission as movement. Going on mission, going to help people, I have to go to the people, and there's a reality to in my world, pastoring in the same church for a very, very, very long time can actually stagnate the very thing that you're there to do.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so I think part of change is just stir the waters, see what happens.
Yeah.
You may actually end up back at the same place. That's okay.
Yeah.
But I think it's a courageous thing to attempt, and I think courage is a core muscle that you need to develop.
Yep. So true, man. So true. There's something amazing about taking that, whether it be a small risk or a big risk, or jumping off a big cliff or a small cliff.
Mm-mm.
There's something amazing about whatever that result is, and it might be a big result, it might be a small result.
And to be clear, we're not talking about risking your family fortune here, or
No,
driving a car real fast towards a brick wall.
no,
That's not
no,
what we're talking about.
that's a good clarification for, again,
Well, no,
knock, 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 knock. Who's
Yeah,
there? Yeah,
idiot. Yeah.
yeah.
No, but to me, I'm a Sorkin fan, and The West Wing,
Mm,
and there's
mm,
there's the moment where Leo McGarry says to CJ, "I need you to do something for me," and
mm.
it's just as there's a change in job roles coming and a change
Yeah,
in leadership coming, and she says, "What?" And he looks at her and whispers in her ear, "I need you to jump off a cliff for me."
yeah,
And I don't know. It's just always been that image of,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
I know it's prose, and I
yeah,
know it's
yeah,
just a
yeah,
dramatic,
yeah,
dramatic reading of the moment. But I do think that's what change feels like.
yeah,
The difference is that as you've grown, you have actually developed some skills
yeah,
that will help you land on your feet. And maybe what I'm saying to people is maybe just even get a piece of paper out and write down, the thing you did in high school when they said, "What
mm.
sort of job do you want in the
In
future?"
careers, yeah. What
In
do you want
careers,
to
they'd be
do?
like,
Yeah,
write down the things you're good at. I
yeah,
reckon you should do that, you
yeah.
know,
It's a great
every
idea.
10 years. Write down things you're good at and be kind to yourself. Be
Yeah,
kind to yourself. Don't
yeah,
compare yourself to the other people. Just say, what have you
yeah,
grown in?
yeah,
And then maybe there's somewhere you can jump and be courageous and see what change does for you.
yeah. I know a family. Just as we close off, I know a family that are really successful in running their own business,
Mm.
and as a couple, they're married couple with a couple of kids, and every year they have a strategic plan for their life, and
Wow.
every year in January they take time off with the family and they talk about their plans and their goals for the year. Are we heading in the direction we want to? Should we
Wow.
change? And
Okay.
you watch them, the things that they do, you follow them on, and I know, Insta's not a great medium for, tracking how somebody's life's going.
Yeah. Yeah.
But man, these guys are just doing amazing things.
Yeah.
You just look at what they do, but they're really deliberate about it. They make deliberate choices. They take these little calculated risks to
Mm, mm.
change things to get the reward, I guess, from those change and do incredible things. And
Yeah.
it's a
It's
challenge
it's
for all of us.
it's remarkable. And honestly, just to all those out there who are um, you know, uh, reeling backwards at the thought of a strategic plan for your life. I've been to all those leadership seminars. Doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for me. I've got a master's in leadership and it
Yeah.
doesn't work for me. So it's okay. It's okay. If that's not you, that's not you. So you don't have to live an
No,
Insta
you
life
don't need to
and
do
do a
that.
strategic plan.
Correct.
But
Definitely not.
again, they're just leaning into their skills and
Yeah,
talents.
that's
And,
right. Yeah, that's what works for
it's a
you. Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Hey, it's great to talk to you, brother.
Thanks, man. Good to talk to
Great
you
to be
too.
back.
And like I said, you haven't changed a bit.
Uh, I like what you did with that. It's good.
See that? Love you, man.
You too. Let me give you a quick dad joke.
Go.
Well, it came from my middle child, who's a comedian in the house.
Yeah.
He said, "So Justin, why did the chicken cross the road?
I don't know, Heath. Why did the Christian?
Why did the Christian? Why
I
did
don't know where that came
the
from.
chicken? Look
Why
at
did
you.
the chicken? Was the chicken a Christian?
Yeah.
Was had he taken his sacrament that day? No.
Why did the
Why
chicken
did the
cross the
chicken
road?
cross the road?
He crossed the road to see the idiot. Knock knock.
Who's there?
The chicken.
The chicken who crossed the road? See the idiot.
You got
I
that
could
one?
see that joke going for 30 or 40 minutes.
Oh yeah, it's a good one. It's one of my favorites.